This woman is blessed. No matter what obstacle she faces, she finds a way to make it through. She's a survivor and a champion, and there's nothing that can be said or done that can ever take that away from her.
This woman is blessed, believe it, she's a champion. Living without stress, believe it, she's a champion. This woman is blessed, believe it, she's a champion.
Peace and love, fam. I'm so happy to see you again. Today, we are going to be getting into soul ties. What is the main point of a soul tie? What is a soul tie? How to know you're in a soul tie and how to break a soul tie. So we're going to get into it today. But first, before we do, welcome to Claire's Revival. I am Latasha, your one and only certified self-revival and master spirit coach. On this channel, we focus on reviving the spirit, breaking the generational chains and patterns of abuse, unlocking the best version of ourselves, and healing, thriving. That's what I'm all about over here. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I am very interested to know some of your experiences about soul ties and your feelings about what we will be discussing today. So, what is a soul tie? And you will hear many different opinions from different people about what a soul tie is, what it means. I'm just going to break down my definition, how I recognize soul ties in my life, and what it means to me as a spiritualist. A soul tie is an unhealthy psychological, spiritual, maybe physical, doesn't always have to be physical, doesn't always have to be with an intimate partner. It can be with a family member. It can be with a friendship. But this relationship is unbalanced and it triggers a dependency or triggers a childhood wound, a childhood trauma that activates someone into chase mode, that activates a dynamic that is unbalanced, unfair, where someone has more power than the other. Now, we do see it a lot in relationships. And as a spiritualist, when you are intimate with someone, when you are laying down with someone, that definitely is an aspect that deepens the soul tie. However, that doesn't have to be present in order for you to have a soul tie with someone. Sometimes a soul tie has more to do with an unresolved spiritual task. A spiritual task that could be associated with the generational curses of the current lineage that you're in. It can be an unresolved task across lifetimes. So where you're experiencing the same sort of experiences, maybe the same soul or the same type souls over and over until you get the lesson. These soul ties go deep. And a lot of people don't understand that having an unwillingness to break free from certain relationships results in generational curses, results in taught, learned behaviors that we pass down to generations so that we can never heal as families, so that we stop producing healthy individuals that are contributing to society, making a difference, who are strong and healthy minded. That's where it begins, with your ability to cut relationships so that you're not carrying on the same lessons time and time again. And that's what makes breaking a soul tie so hard, because you are psychologically intertwined. You're at a place to where you are most likely unhealed or in a particular or blind to a particular area in your life. And certain individuals will be sent to your life to test you. That is the main goal, the message of a soul tie. The lesson is simply to break free. And I say simply like it's easy. It is not easy. This is the type of soul work that can really make or break you. This is the type of soul work that a lot of people run away from. And those are the people that are walking around in denial, just neglecting yourself, pushing your needs to the side, being oblivious to what your needs are. I'd rather deal with some of the darkest, most uncomfortable parts of my life, of where I am, than living a lie, living in denial, knowing something needs to change and just refusing to look at it because it hurts so bad, because you're chasing the idea of something. And I'm going to mention another thing. There is a segment of the spiritual community, or just people in general, who get so emotionally involved in their mind that the person that they're dealing with, if it's romantic on some level, is a soulmate. And I need you to understand that All soulmates are not meant for you to be with. All soulmates are not meant to be with you throughout your whole lifetime. Some are meant to teach you a lesson, to strengthen you so you can move forward and really move towards the type of soul connections that you're meant to. All right, some of the ways to know that you are experiencing a soul tie. And let me tell you, sometimes it could be another person that is hooked up on your energy and you're not as emotionally invested as they are. This exists. These are people who might be obsessed with you and your energy. Maybe a friendship has outgrown its season. It's time for people to move on, and a particular person is still obsessed and pressed about your energy. These things exist. So let's talk a little bit more about how to recognize if you're in the midst of a soul tie. One way to know is that you are hypersensitive to what they think about you, their criticisms, their words affect you deeply. You really care about how this person perceives you. And you may be even obsessed on what they think about you and how to get their validation, how to get their attention, how to be seen, how to get a rise or a spark out of them. Because remember, this soul tie is an unhealthy dynamic. So somebody has the power here. So it's either going to be you that has the power that's depending on them to fuel you, fuel your ego, fuel your self-esteem, or it's going to be you. It's going to be you that's going to be succumbing to someone having power and control over you, manipulating how you viewing yourself, manipulating the situation to make you feel guilty, to put you in a perpetual cycle of chase mode to seek their validation. You become hypersensitive to what they think about you and obsessive over how they think, how they process information, why certain ways that you're moving ain't affecting them. All this energy that you should be putting into understanding yourself, you're putting it into understanding that other person. And that is a very unhealthy dynamic. Another way that you could tell that this is a soul tie, an unhealthy attachment that needs to end, you just feel like something is off. Something feels off, suspicious about the person. You're not vibing. You're not feeling the same way that you used to. Something has changed. Possibly you're waking up. That's what it is. But there's a part of you that just feels unfulfilled and numb when it comes to this dynamic, when it comes to this relationship. This person has disappointed you. This person has hurt you time and time again. And you're numb. You don't even care. But yet you're there stuck. You're stuck in this cycle because you don't know how to quite move. And a lot of times you don't know that you're stuck into this cycle until you start to get to that awakening stage. The other person may be over interested in your business, over interested in controlling you, knowing where you are, knowing what's going on in your life, knowing every aspect of you. If someone is just too over involved in your life, that is someone who is seeking to come in and take something from you, whether it's your time, your effort, your money, your essence, whatever it is, they're coming in to take when they become just overly concerned with what you got going on. Ain't they got some business of their own to be minded? I mean, another dynamic that goes on in an unhealthy soul tie is that both of you are involved. And whether you're aware of it or not, you can consciously or subconsciously like drama. You're petty. You like to play tit for tat and go back and forth with these games to prove your point, to get that one up, to get that got you moment. All that type energy is toxic. And when you have to compete, there's an unhealthy power dynamic going on, and both people aren't being equally valued, equally heard. So now that we understand a little bit more about soul ties, the dynamic, what it can look like, how it can be lingering dynamics from lifetimes following you, how it can be your childhood wounds, traumas, your love attachment style needing to be rectified. That's what this is about. It's about ultimately digging deep, getting to that next version of yourself. And next, we're going to talk about how to get into that. How to break the soul tie, because it's hard. I'm not going to make it look like it's easy. You know, it's not just one of those things where you can, okay, step one, check off. It's going to be a roller coaster. You can expect to feel a lot of emotions when it comes to exploring the soul tie, because you're getting in touch with some very hurtful, deeply embedded wounds, and you're going to have to be gentle and understanding with yourself. So let's get into how to break the soul tie. Surrender. Surrender. And by surrender, I mean just surrender, knowing that, you know what? I give up. I know that this is an unhealthy dynamic. I know that this is no longer serving me. I know that this is a problem. I know that I may not even know what to do right now. But what I do know is that I surrender, is that I let go. I relinquish control. I relinquish the need to continuously chase and validate. When you're surrendering, I want you to remember this all throughout the steps I'm going to be mentioning. Throughout this whole process, you're going to have to re-surrender. You might become angry, emotionally erratic. You may feel like you feel unbalanced, unstable, like you just don't have a grasp of who you are. And that's normal. Know that. And as you're surrendering, like I said, you're accepting and you're evaluating what's going on. You're evaluating this dynamic. Why did it happen the way that it happened? What were you seeking? What was missing from you? That leads into number 2. Break free from the source. Cut them off. Now, if this is a romantic partner, that should be easy, especially if you don't have any kids together. It gets more complicated if you have children together, if this is a family member or someone that you're going to have contact with. And when that's the case, it's about establishing those firm boundaries. It's about knowing what you stand for, knowing how you feel, what you're willing to accept and what you're not. But you're going to have to cut that tie from the source. If it's a parent that is so toxic to you, that has disappointed you over and over again, and the only thing that you can do for your mental health is to cut them off, I am an advocate of cutting people off no matter who they are. You have to have your mental peace and sanity. Some people may think I'm a little extreme about that. That's my point of view. Anybody can get cut off if it comes to my peace. If you are not adding, if you are being toxic, if you are being manipulative, if you are lying, if you are thinking that you can control me, I don't care who you are, you can definitely get cut off. You have to be able to break that tie by cutting off the engagement, cutting off the conversation, the revolving door. Because what you can expect when you're going through this process of surrendering, detaching, evaluating what's going on, these individuals are going to be feeling that energy shift. So you're going to get those text messages all of a sudden, right when you're trying to make the most progress, right when you're starting to see that light, right when you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable and getting a little more strength in your decision. You're going to get these random phone calls, these random texts. What's up? I miss you. Hey, all of that is a test. And you were supposed to keep moving forward, keep progressing. No physical contact. If this is a relationship, an intimate relationship, cut off the nookie. Cut off the nookie. As we know, okay, as I stated before, or you may not know, your private parts are a portal to the most intimate parts of yourself. It's a way to get you to release, trust, help you to get attached sexually, to help you get addicted to a feeling instead of what's real, especially if you are letting someone into your body too early. Stop having sex. Cut off the nookie. You cannot break a soul tie if this person is treating you and your time, your life, like a revolving door, coming in and out when they want to. They are always going to sit in your mind. They are always going to be sitting there playing with your subconscious. If you allow them to be back and forth in your life, cut it off. And as a spiritualist, a lot of people don't want to hear this. I'm going to say it. As a spiritualist, throw away the gifts. Throw away their objects with their energy all wrapped in it. Those mental reminders. Everyone might not want to do that. I understand that. That's cool. Some things may be sentimental, but for me, as a spiritualist, knowing that certain objects carries that person's energy, get rid of their clothing, objects, gifts, and do not accept any new gifts from them because it's coming from a spirit of bribery, wanting to reel you back in. Cut all ties. Don't interact. Don't think that you can just be friends and keep on. When the cycle is over, when the season is over, cut it, end it. That's it. Stop. What for? Why are you holding on when you know it's time to let go? And I know that you're a loving, compassionate person who doesn't just want to hurt people the way that they've hurt you. But if you have tried over and over and have communicated with these people, let these people know that they have hurt you. Know that this dynamic is unhealthy. What? You don't owe them anything. They know what they're doing. Pick up, move on with your life. Let them know you're serious. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. You need to cut it. The next one, number 3, I'm going to talk about how to break a soul tie. Repair your spiritual shield. This is going to be hard, and you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel isolated. You're going to feel like no one understands. You're going to be grieving and missing these relationships. So your focus has to shift from that to deepening your spiritual connection, your relationship, doing things with yourself and with God. Repair your spiritual shield because this person has penetrated your shield of protection because they have penetrated and taken advantage of your boundaries. Therefore, you have to reconstruct that protection, that shield around yourself, that glory, that virtue about yourself. You have to rebuild that, and you do that by doing deep repair. Whatever you can do to make a positive decision towards repairing your mental health, towards repairing your body, how you look, your self-esteem, your spirituality, feed into all those parts of yourself. Maybe fasting from something. Like I said, you should be separating physically. If you want to fast from sex, if you want to fast from alcohol, if you want to fast from whatever that particular thing is that you maybe tend to overindulge in, fast from that. Even if it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, make it something that you can stick to. Stick with small, doable, tangible goals at a time and just work on replenishing yourself, feeding into you, going outside in nature, barefoot, grounding yourself, going near beautiful bodies of water, taking intentional spiritual baths or, things to nourish your skin and that make you feel good and happy, and that you can do some releasing, prayers, journal writing. Maybe this is a good time for you to get into therapy, get into some coaching and see what's going on inside your mind. Really figure out these mindsets, especially if this is a repeating cycle for you. If this is a repeating, recurring thing in your theme in your life, maybe it's time for you to dig deeper and get some more help. Dig deep. This is a time for you to be repairing yourself, feeding yourself at the same time, because it's going to take a lot of strength, spiritual energy, love, compassion, forgiveness for yourself, okay? And last, certainly not least, family, if you have done all of the steps, all of the things that I mentioned, number 4 is just going to fall right in place. You're really not going to have much to do when it comes to step number 4 because you've done the work already. And this is rebirth. Rebirth. After you have done this, you naturally become an unrecognizable, different person and become excited about this new phase, about this new journey, about these new revelations and things and lessons that you have learned in your life. Get excited about that next stage and know that you get to dictate and that you control who you are. Vision who you want to be, what you stand for. Now that you've gone through all this, now that you've broken a soul tie, now that you know that you can cut yourself from whatever is unnecessary, enjoy that. Establish firm new boundaries. Maybe create a vision board of some of your goals and start working towards your goals. Get excited and know that you have control over your life. That you don't have to stay stuck in cycles that aren't serving you. You are the author of your own book. You get to control your journey, family. So I hope that this was helpful to you. I know just talking about it is helpful for me. I know I have broken free from a few soul ties in my life. And you really have to be able to recognize what it is when your thoughts become obsessive, when you start to focus more on a particular outcome versus looking at what is really going on. You have to have the strength, the emotional intelligence to be aware and to know that it's not going to be easy. It's going to take some work, but it is possible, family. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I am Latasha. The name of my platform is Clara's Revival. Learning how to revive the spirit, learning how to thrive after domestic violence, after abuse, after sex trauma. You do not have to remain stuck with where you are, okay? Together, baby, we're going to rise from the ashes. I love you. I'll see you next time. Take care.